Welcome everyone to Cinema Regulars. It's me, Kellan, the popcorn. Now it has been quite a year, 2025. We've had plenty of great movies and plenty of stinkers, and now it is once again that time of year where we cover the top 10 worst movies of 2025. The bottom 10, if you will. Just to clarify here, we are only covering movies that were released in theaters and covered on this channel. So no streaming movies and no anything else. That being said, let's kick this off with our number 10 on the list. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, straight out of gate, I want to say spoiler alert, okay? Not that you would care, but if you like the other ones, you're gonna care. Because clearly and utterly the worst thing about this movie is the absolutely abysmal, disgraced treatment of Freddie Prinze Jr. How dare they make him the villain of this movie? And not to mention that horrendously dumb ass ending. And not to mention the horrendously stupid ending where the two best friends just go to a beach, grab a drink, and say, you know what? None of this wouldn't happen if it weren't for men. Which doesn't make any sense because the other main killer of the movie was one of their friends, and it was their fault that they got into that situation in the first place. And plus, the director and two of the writers on this movie were women, so meta-wise, it's their fault. But I jest. Moving on to our number 9 worst movie of the year, Mickey 17. Wow, what a disgrace. What an utter disappointment. I can only feel sorry for the author of the book this was based on, to have your book turned into such garbage on the big screen. I know I would hate if my book got that treatment. What this boiled down to was a completely groan-worthy Trump impersonation versus alien roly-polies. Aliens weren't cool, the people weren't interesting, nothing that was happening was interesting, the cloning thing didn't make any sense, and it was just such an utter disappointment. I was really excited by the concept of this, just printing the guy over and over again, and then they did jack shit with it. They didn't even give half a fuck about that actual aspect of the movie, and all they just drove it into was it was like Avatar but with roly polies, and the aliens are the good guys and we're the bad guys for invading their thing, which you've done time and time and time and time again. Please stop it. The only thing I can really take away from this is to please beg you guys to go watch Moon from 2009 starring Sam Rockwell, because it's got basically the same premise to start with, but then actually goes somewhere interesting, which you don't get from this movie. Number 8, we have Megan 2.0. God damn, what the fuck? I actually ranked the original Megan in a somewhat positive. I get it a 6 out of 10 when it came out because, it was a Blumhouse movie. It wasn't garbage. But this sequel made the bonkers level bizarre switch from a kind of funky horror movie that the first one was. Like, it was like a sci-fi horror. And then they switched it up into a action sci-fi comedy and turned it into Slay Queen the movie. I honestly, what it boils down to is I have too much testosterone in my body to enjoy this movie. I don't have the estrogen levels required. Moving on to number 7, we have the Lilo and Stitch live action remake. And I gotta say, what a disgusting show we have here. It is, I've never seen a more insulting live action remake of a cartoon. Because, the whole point, and Isaac will go off on this too, I know he will. the whole point is Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. And then they remake this, and Ohana actually means give your little sister over to be property of the state. Because everyone was just like, oh no, it's fine because she gets taken in by the neighbors, so they're still family. I'm like, no, because once you get taken into the system and given to someone else, like, they still have to report back to you. You are the child is still property of the state and being basically leased out to you on good behavior. The state is now in control, and they are trusting you to babysit the kid because the state can't do that itself. Lilo is the property of the state now. So congratulations, you played yourself. And why did the Hawaiian girl need a special school in California to study marine biology when you have all the best marine biology right there on the island? That doesn't make any sense. Moving on to number 6, we have The Strangers, Chapter 2. And man, it is a dark era to be a fan of the Strangers movies. I absolutely love the original. It's such a good, it's such a good representation of dread horror because it doesn't do like big flashy jump scares at you and just like jumping suddenly and loud noise and that just to jump you in your seats. No, there will be a guy in a mask with a knife that just slowly steps out of the darkness, and it takes you a minute to even notice that he's standing there, and it just like, oh my god, I didn't realize, oh, now he's there. Like, things like that is such underrated horror, and it gives me genuine goose pimples. But to see it just slashed up and butchered like this, they brought out this entirely pointless backstory for an aspect of the film series, or for the film franchise in general, that didn't need an explanation, and that's the is Tamara home? The whole point of that was to just knock on the door and say, oh, is my friend here? And then they're like, no, you must have the wrong house, and then basically they go, oh, sorry, and leave. But all that is just scope out, is anyone home? And if they're in the home, then you kill them. Like, that was the cool thing about the originals, is that it was just like, why are you doing this? Because you were home. Because you were up. Because we needed somebody to do it too, and you just happened to be here. And they kind of take away that whole, like, we just do it for the fuck of it. They try to add some stupid line where it's just like, oh, why do they do this? Does there have to be a why? And like, I gotta say, if that ginger guy with the neck tattoo is not the Scarecrow Man, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Because, like, he's so obviously that guy, but you fucking killed everyone else it could possibly be. So, like, I don't even know what the point of the third movie would even be, because one of the girls is dead now, so it doesn't matter who she is. I'm going to keep comparing it to the old one. The old one, it was cool because you didn't know who it was. You didn't get to see who it was. And that it doesn't matter who that was because it could be fucking anyone. That's the point of Strangers, is anyone can be like this. But, like, revealing identities along the way is not what this movie is supposed to be. And then last thing, because I'm spending a lot of time on this one. It's really just because I really like the Strangers movies. The first two, at least. But I am so damn sick of movies that are part of, they're to be continued, I mean, yes, there's movies that have done that in the past and have done that well, but the movie itself, the part that I'm watching, doesn't have any, self-contained story, beginning, middle, and end, okay? The beginning, the middle, and the end cannot be their own movies. Each segment of that needs to have a begin, middle, and end, okay? Because this one was just all middle. It starts off of the first movie being the whole beginning of it, and even that one had a beginning, middle, and end, because it ends with her in the hospital and leaves on a cliffhanger, yes, but it still leaves on an end note. This was not. Like, it was, the way it leaves off, the way it ends off is just one of the girls dying, the guy holds her, and then moving over. I'm so sick of movies that are part of a series just ending just wherever they want to, just because there's gonna be another movie later. Moving into number 5, we have In the Lost Lands. I don't know who got on their hands and knees and sucked Dave Bautista's cock to get him into this garbage, but it worked. Not to the movie's credit, but to him getting in the movie credit. Uh, I this was just a abomination of a film. First of all, it was boring as fuck. I did not give a shit about any character or anything that was going on. I couldn't even understand or comprehend half of what was going on, and most of what was going on was lens flares. Oh my god, this was CGI lens flare the movie, and it looked abysmal. The CGI was completely terrible and laughable at scenes. The only thing I remember about this movie, even now, is just the notorious amounts of lens flare that was just dominating every single scene. And then the one scene where a train just goes like off the tracks or like off a cliff or whatever, and as it's falling, there's just a horribly green screened woman in the front seat, just like sitting like completely straight on as it crashes into the abyss, and I'm like, that looks so terrible. I, I don't know. I don't know what the budget for the effects were, but it wasn't very high. Number 4, we have from the same people who made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, we have Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Now, the thing is, I actually liked the Blood and Honey movies, not because they were good, but because they weren't. This movie, however, all the fun and, you know, funniness of, you know, the concept of, oh, it's the Disney storybook characters, but they're killers now, they're evil. All of that novelty is sucked out of this because it tries to take itself so seriously, and that's what I liked about the other two, is that they knew it was tongue in cheek. It's like, yeah, it's Winnie the Pooh fucking eating people. What you expect something real out of this? But with Neverland Nightmare, they tried to make something real out of this. It didn't feel hammy. It didn't feel like parody. It didn't feel fun. It just felt like dark, boring slop. They had Tinkerbell was some 80-year-old trans guy, Twinkerbell, if you will. And when it comes down to it, the one thing I look for, the one saving grace of a horror movie, is the gore, the special effects. Because even if it's boring as fuck, if you can land a couple good kills, you're golden. You can make at least your budget back in a movie. And the gore wasn't even good. Number 3 on our list, we have Friendship. Oh boy, did Isaac not like this movie. I thought it was right trash as well, but Isaac was personally insulted by this movie. He walked out twice. I don't even know how he did that. He left, and then he felt bad for me in there, came back, and then watched the rest of the movie, and we left. And God, it really wasn't worth it. You know those scenes in a show or a movie where a guy is like saying something or like doing something, and you're just like, no, man, stop, no, don't do that, oh, don't, come, no. And it's like, you just feel the cringe, and you're just like, oh, I can't believe you just said that, don't, oh, like there's several times I can think of where I just had to like pause a movie and be like, no. Oh, I don't even want to know what the reaction is to what that guy just said or what he just did. And the problem is, that's the entire runtime of this movie. Every single thing the main guy does hits you with that just cringe, like, no, don't say that. No, don't do that. What are you doing? Oh, this guy, like, it's grown-tastic. It's cringe. It's abominable suffering, and you're just like, and there's no break from that. There's no break from that. Like, in other movies, there's other things going on, and then they hit you with that, and you're just like, oh, no. And then you take a minute to pause, and then you unpause the movie, you go through, and you get over it, and you move on pretty fast. With this, you don't have time, because before you can even unclench your ass cheeks from the cringe, they just unload more cringe, and they're right back up to clenched again. And you're just, like, dying for it to get over. Number 2, we have Run. Now, this movie is down here on quality alone, because the movie itself, I had a hell of a time watching this with Merrick because it was outrageously, laughably bad and so much fun to poke at. So much so that not only did we did a whole podcast section on it, regaling what happened to Isaac, but also I did something that I did a long time ago, a couple years ago on this channel, for your viewing displeasure, where I got shit-faced drunk and then tried to recap everything I could recall about a movie that I'd seen. And boy did I have a good time, and boy did I get really drunk talking that movie up. So if you really want to know what happens, save yourself actually watching the movie and watch my drunk recap of it, because it's so much more entertaining. Alright, before we head into our number 1 worst movie of the year 2025, we have some honorable mentions. First up is the runner-up, the number 11th movie that was just narrowly saved from being on this list. And that is Disney Pixar's Elio. Holy fuck, can you guys please stop? Just stop making movies, okay? Just close down, pack up shop. I don't even want you to hire new people and make movies better anymore. Just stop. Just stop. You ruined it. You ruined everything. It's terrible. I hate this movie so much. It's so boring. The character is non-enjoyable. There's no aspect of this character to like at all. He's a whiny little bitch who wants to be abducted by aliens. I won't even attempt to guess what that's supposed to be a metaphor for. Can you please even just fucking try, you guys? Because you're really not. Alright, next up we have our choice pick honorable mention. So it was nowhere near the bottom 10, but it was something that just deserves a little extra spit on the corpse, you know what I mean? And today this year I chose Until Dawn. Everyone on the podcast here, barely. I think Alex might be the only one who hasn't at least watched a playthrough of Until Dawn. Until Dawn is a masterpiece of a game. I still think to this day it's one of my favorites. It's in my top 10 best video games of all time, in my opinion, that I've played. It's a phenomenal cast, phenomenal choice branching. I love how it plays. I am a super massive fan, get it? And I was expecting a lot from this movie, and I got my ass smacked. Because what it ended up being is so far stretched away from what it actually is supposed to be that it's insulting to even call this Until Dawn. It doesn't make any sense in its own continuum. So even if you were just like, okay, fine, so it's not the game, but maybe I can enjoy it what it is anyway. No, you can't enjoy. Well, I can't enjoy it for what it is, because even within itself, it doesn't make any sense. Watching the trailer for it leading up to it, I was excited for certain aspects. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that looks really, really cool. And then when I get there and I get to it, it's basically, what I saw in the trailer is all that thing is. Like, it's literally not in the movie. That's all the footage they have of that cool thing. It doesn't make any fucking sense, and it's fucking boring, and it's stupid, and I hate it. I'm angry that, like, you could have made something cool and called it Until Dawn and say it's based off of the game, and even if it was radically different from the game, even if it had jack shit to do with the game, if it was good, I still would have liked it. I still would have liked it if it was good. It's not just that it's different, it's that it's different and bad. All right. Ranting and raving aside, it is that time. We are at the number 1 worst movie of 2025, and it is, drum roll please, ladies and gentlemen, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Good God, this movie was such a damn slog to get through. I felt encumbered sitting in that chair. My God, I'm not a fan of The Weeknd's music, but the trailer looked, kind of interesting. It was like ambiguous and creepy, and this could be something. I was expecting basically a modern day Misery, which I feel in a way it was trying to do almost, but it came nowhere near to doing anything with it. All it is Jenna Ortega going to a Weeknd concert where The Weeknd is sad, and then The Weeknd fucks her in a hotel room, and then she yells at him, and then this is the only good part, is that he looks at her like she's crazy, because she is, and then he says, "Shut up, shut the fuck up, what are you doing?" that soundbite is the best thing ever. It's become a soundboard clip in the Cinema Regulars Discord. that 4 seconds where The Weeknd is just telling Jenna Ortega to shut the fuck up because she's acting crazy is the only good part of the movie. That's the only good part. I laughed. I lulled. I did, in the middle of the theater. He's like, "Shut the fuck up. Shut up. What are you doing?" And I was just laughing. It was like, that's great. I'm like, that's gonna be clipped to hell and back. That's gonna be like a segment in like videos. It's gonna happen, and it has. But then she ties him to the bed, plays his song, and then she just reviews his music. She does like a Rap Genius lyrics review, like explaining all the lyrics, like on Rap Genius, the website. And she's explaining what the meaning of the lyrics is to the guy who wrote the lyrics. So why? The movie is abject horror. There is nothing good about this movie. There's absolutely nothing redeeming. It's so bad. It's so boring. It's so nothing. It's so I was gonna use the fancy word. He's sucking his own dick. I couldn't think of the fancy word for that. It's every one of us sprang out of our seats like Jack in the Boxes to haul our asses out of the theater the second the credits rolled. We were so done with this movie, and I'm so done talking about it. This wraps up our bottom 10 here. I'll have all 10 movies on screen now. Thank you so much for sticking around with us for another great and terrible year of movies. Please check out my top 10 movies and Isaac's top and bottom 10 movies. And until next time, guys, that's a wrap. Roll credits.